Hello Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Rising. These are your messages for December. And the very first card that I have coming up for you as your underlying energy is the Hanged Man. Now, you have at least, I think, two of the same cards as Capricorn. So I don't know if some of you have placements in Capricorn. You might want to check out that video as well. But the very first card that I have coming up for you is the Hanged Man, as I said. And this is a card that, not much seems to be happening when this card comes up. And before everyone switches off the video, thinking, oh my God, not this again. Let's go ahead. There's some very interesting energies that come up. I don't even know if this is about limbo for you guys, just because of that Knight of Wands that sits underneath the Hanged Man here. But I'll get to him in just a moment. The Hanged Man, if we have a look at this card, as I told Capricorn, this is a card of being in limbo. It feels like not a lot is changing or moving when this card comes up. I feel like for some people, and I said this to Capricorn as well, this is because of Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde, which happens in December and is going to be retrograde for most of December. I think it's almost 3 weeks. It speaks of a time of reevaluating, of going back over something, looking at something again. And with the Hanged Man here, it's a change of perspective. That's what this guy talks about. Like, he's surrendered to his situation, whether he's put himself up there, whether someone else has put him up there. His pose is very deliberate and he's surrendered to it. And oh my God, what does he have? His hands in his pocket? Looks like it. And he's surrendered to his situation, and he's upside down. So he's seeing the world from a different angle. He's getting a different perspective on the world. And that's kind of what's going on for you right now. So, this can be kind of difficult, but I think it actually serves quite a few of you to be in this energy. I know this is the underlying energy for December. And why do I say that? Because you have the Star coming up. This is the card for Aquarius. And you have this at the heart of your reading, which is like what everything revolves around at this time. And the Star, it's a card of healing. It's a card of hope returning. I think that's my main thing with the Star. It's that star of hope that we see in the sky. That, this card comes after the Tower in the Major Arcana. Now, the Tower is when we're standing in the rubble of our lives and looking around thinking, what happened? Like, I have nothing left. And this star shows up and it says, no, your dreams are still here. And it guides us. It's a helping hand that, comes our way, and hope returns. And we kind of see that, our wishes can still be fulfilled. Like I said, this is at the heart of your reading. So that's a beautiful energy. Like, December feels very good. Very good for you, Aquarius, with the Star coming up here. Now, why is there hope returning? Or, like for some of you, the Star can indicate a new beginning. So have a look at that. That's the thing with the Star card. It has so many different meanings, all of them positive for me. I always see like, a dark and a light side for most of the cards. With the Star card, it's very difficult. So that is a very spiritual energy. So, how this plays out, it's a general reading. It's going to be different for all of you. But for some of you, it's going to be about a situation that's to do with the past. Now, let's have a look at this and let's go easy here. Whenever I get the Six of Cups, it's a card that talks about the past, but it's coming up in the past. Okay. So you may have gone through a time where you've been looking back at the past, you've been reflecting on the past. Maybe someone's returned from the past, or there's memories of the past, right? It's nostalgia though, so this is not going to be painful. Even if something painful has happened and you've been looking back at that situation, it feels like you have a softer kind of approach in it. Like, it's when we put on our rose tinted glasses, just a little bit. Sometimes that can be something that serves us, sometimes not so much. Like, sometimes we want to remember that, it was difficult for a reason, take the lessons away from it. But for others of us, it's when, with the Star there, maybe a lot of healing has happened and you're now able to look back at a time. For others of you, it's going to be a sense of looking back, or you've been looking back at times when things were easier, when things were more innocent. We always see these two young people, and he's handing her that cup and it's got a little flower in it, and that's a gift that says that a time when it felt like it was a gift. Maybe you were in a relationship that felt kind of that beauty, that lovely sense when someone gives us something, like a nice gift that we didn't even ask for. So it may be a time when things are more innocent. like I said, this can indicate when someone comes back from the past. It can even be like a past life relationship. It can indicate something like that. But that's what the foundation of the reading is about this. It's something related to the past. And maybe with the Hanged Man here, that's what this is indicating. Like a change of perspective to do with the past. Some of you may have reached out to someone in your past. Someone from your past may have reached out to you. And that's why you're going through the Hanged Man energy of now contemplating, what this means, or having a change of perspective on this. What I will say with that Hanged Man there, like, even though there's a change of perspective, like, you will know if it's something that was awful and it was like, a really bad situation, someone that didn't treat you really well. Just be mindful of that with the Six of Cups, there can be this sense of nostalgia that, when we first started off, everything was so great and everything was so sweet. So the Hanged Man does ask us to really think about, really contemplate the situation. Now that becomes even, more the case when we have the Knight of Wands coming up as your present energy. Now the Knight of Wands, he's very fast moving, he's very fun, he's very sexy, very passionate kind of energy that comes in. But the thing with the Knight of Wands, he can be kind of unreliable. This can sometimes be that person who, we don't hear from for ages, and then they kind of show up again and everything's brilliant, but then they're off away again. This is the adventurer. It may be a fire sign, which would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But for others of you, this may be, if this is someone else, it could be someone that, they come and go, or it's great when they're around, but they don't stick around. And that's why I was giving that kind of warning, kind of the caution that, just remember what this person is like. Now, for others of you, the Six of Cups, it doesn't always show someone coming back from the past, or it can be a situation that we find ourselves in that reminds us of the past, or, someone that we meet that's brand new that reminds us of someone from the past. So obviously it's going to play out differently for each of you. I know this is meant to be a general, but it kind of is going towards like a romantic relationship. It's just the way, that's just how the energy is that I'm picking up. So if it is, someone new, like, there's two ways then that we can see this. If this is someone else, you may be viewing this person as a Knight of Wands, like someone who's not very reliable, or, based off of that, they remind you of someone from the past. So this is your perception of this person. Because why would you be asked to reevaluate, change your perspective to, For others of you, it may be that you're thinking this person is more than this, based off of that, reflection, looking back at the past, more innocent times. Maybe you want that and they aren't that. So it's, this serves you. It truly serves you here. Really does. With that Knight of Wands there. There's nothing wrong with the Knight of Wands. Yes, he's fast moving, but he's also fun and he's passionate. But I'm trying to give you the whole spectrum of the energies that can surround this person. Like, this doesn't have to be someone else. This may be your energy. Maybe you're feeling like the Knight of Wands. If you've been going through that time of contemplation, if you've been looking at the past, and now maybe with, hope returning and your energy returning, like healing returning, you're the one that's out there to have some fun. You're the one that wants to go exploring and start a new adventure, because that's what this card indicates. The Knight of Wands, he's not bad. Like, it's just that he is an adventurer. And what does an adventurer do? They're always out looking for the next adventure. So this may be you now, and that's you kind of looking for your wish, your wish fulfillment, that, you want to go for that. And you have the hope finally, or you've been healed enough to kind of do this. So like I said, it's going to play out differently for each of you. And as always, it's general. So the energies can be ours, or, someone who's very central to our story at this time. Right. And then coming up as a future energy, as potential future, where could you be headed with all of this? Well, you have the Emperor. This is another card that Capricorn got. They got this as their advice, but you're getting this as, where does all this kind of lead? Well, it leads to this. Now, the Emperor, he's the father figure, the boss, the authority figure in the tarot. Can be like an older person. I usually see it as a masculine energy, but as I said to Capricorn, we all have the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy within us. So there is this sense of taking control. When the Emperor shows up, it's about being in control, taking control, being the boss almost. Like, if this is not love, and for a lot of you it's going to be, but this could be now, maybe being the boss. I just dropped a card, but being the boss is what you wanted, because the star can be like a rising star that, you know, you're recognized as this kind of figure. That, you know, you've had that kind of Knight of Wands energy where you've had fun, or you've been looking for adventure, somewhere to settle down. And with the Emperor here, this is something solid now. You know, the Emperor always brings order to a situation. He runs his empire, right? I usually would warn with this card that, you know, it's about not being too stubborn. Like, don't be too stubborn, because the Emperor, he's not very good at compromising. He only knows how to do things his way. And, you know, that can leave us kind of closed off to other ways of doing things. I'm not really getting that too much here, not with the star sat above it, not with that lovely energy of the star, which is helping hand, kind of guidance, moving forward, healing. And you have more healing energy coming up, very loving energy that's coming up. You have the Ace of Cups coming up as the advice, as the crowning energy here. So what is the Ace of Cups? Aces are the potential for new beginnings, and cups are emotions. To me, this can be if it's not love, and it can be second chances at love too, especially with this sat above this. Now, please understand that, you know, that's not going to apply to everyone. I don't like to give people false hope. Yes, it's Mercury retrograde, and, you know, something, but we have to understand that Mercury retrograde, it gives us the opportunity to reevaluate what's going on. That's why the Hanged Man is there. It's the opportunity to reevaluate, to relook at something. And we may do that without that person actually coming back. So, you know, please be mindful and, you know, really understand your situation. For it is with this, I think with the Hanged Man there, with the star there, with the Emperor there, this is about you being in control. So please don't be afraid of evil exes coming back. These are both very lovely energies. This is nostalgia. So like I was saying, this can be new love, second chances at love, but it can also be emotional growth. It can be a very healing energy. It's a very spiritual energy, you know, the way I see it in the tarot. So it does indicate some kind of new beginning, but, you know, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, you have this new beginning, maybe with someone. This makes us happy. The Ace of Cups, it's that first happiness, that hit of happiness. Aces are the beginnings of cycles, right? So with the beginning of this cycle, it ultimately leads to, like I said this to Capricorn too. I don't know what's going on with you and Capricorn, but this sense of being in control. And it's kind of strange because, trust me, I shuffled the cards really well in between. So it's for the two of you to get two very similar cards. And you got 3 major arcana cards and Capricorn got 4. So, sorry, you got 3. Yeah, 3 major arcana cards. But this card talks about surrender. And this card talks about being in control. So it's almost as if it's the same as that reevaluating, that change of perspective. It actually leads to a situation that is more stable, that is more solid, and, you know, one that starts a new cycle that makes you very happy. Now, let's have a look at your oracle cards. So the first one that I have coming up for you from the Romance Angels is reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Okay, itchy nose there, but yeah. So we have reconciliation. Now, it's very difficult to see this card and not see this card, because this talks about the past. There can be people returning from the past. But what I will say to you about the reconciliation card is, I'm going to say this. It talks about reconciliation and it talks about someone returning. Doesn't mean they're going to stay. I actually dropped the Knight of Wands, but it doesn't mean they're going to stay. It can be that they've come back for you guys to reconcile some differences, for you to get the closure that you needed. For others of you, yeah. I mean, with this coming up, yes, some of you are getting second chances at something, or, you know, with this coming back, this can be like the Six of Cups. Someone from the past can be like a past life, someone that we feel like, even if you don't believe in past lives, someone that you feel like you've known forever, like, you know, oh my God, like you just connect. And that can often help, like, you know, when you meet someone, and that can help ease some kind of pain from the past. It can be that, but let's have a look. What do we have from the Whispers of Love? We have number 34, receive with love and appreciation. And it says, receiving something lovingly from others is a way of showing love. I'm just going to say this. I'm wondering if with this card, because this is sometimes like, you know, the person's offering something. Has someone offered you something, Aquarius, and you're not sure if you should take it? And it's kind of asking you to receive it with love and appreciation. And maybe that's what... Oh, I mean, it's not so much like, you know, when it's the Page of Cups or the Knight of Cups that someone's offering love. It's not that so much. Maybe just a gift or something, or, you know, whatever it is, some emotional something at this Cups, right? Is that what you're contemplating here? Is that what you're trying to figure out with this Mercury retrograde? I mean, as much as I'm trying to give you as broad a look at the energies as possible, and I often get accused of being a typical Aquarius. Someone said that, a Cancer actually said that to me in a Cancer video. I think it was a couple of videos ago. They said to me, oh, you're a typical Aquarius, you're downplaying the love aspect. I'm not. I'm trying to be responsible with the energies that come through, because I know better than anyone that, you know, the energies play out in a spectrum. I've always said this, that, you know, you can use fire to cook your food and stay warm, or you can burn your house down with it. I know which one I want and which one I don't want, but it's just an energy. So, like, it's impossible to tell in a general reading, but for some of you, yes, there's someone coming back from the past. For others of you, this is to do with just putting things to rest in the past, because the Six of Cups, it is about, you know, nostalgia and looking at things and being okay with it. Some of you are remembering a time when you were more innocent, and maybe that's why you have the Knight of Wands now, because you're ready to get out there again, you know, to get on that adventure, to go for it. And that's how you find this. So, you know, I'd be very irresponsible with the kind of combinations that are coming up. I'd be very irresponsible to say, hey, yeah, the person that you want from the past is coming back. Because the Knight of Wands could very much be saying to you that, you know, you getting out there is what brings you this. It's what brings you this. And the reason I'm saying that is the next card that I have from the Wisdom of the Oracle is number 36. Come to the edge. And these cards are so shiny, you can never see them clearly. There we go. Hopefully you can see it clearly on the side there. But with Come to the Edge, this card talks about taking that bold step, that there's no other moves left now than you having to come to the edge and, you know, take that leap of faith. This card, it's very much like the Strength card. It talks about courage, bold steps, and, like, you know, it's a leap of faith that we may not have all the answers at this time, but we take a leap of faith. And it feels like for some of you, this is what you will be doing. But it's okay. You have the Emperor energy. So this to me, no matter what we say about him, no matter what we say about anyone that does this, with the Star there, with the Star and the Emperor coming up, this is very stable, very hopeful energy that we have. So, you know, take that leap of faith.